tumekuwa tukifanya hii study yenye method yenyewe inaitwa participatory research. For me imekuwa time yangu ya kwanza kufanya participatory methods. Kawaida nimekuwa nikifanya methods zinaitwa qualitative, ndio watu wananijua kama qualitative experts na quantitative, lakini participatory inakuja pali sasa researcher anakuja kwa community. Lakini ukikuja kwa community, ukuji kwa community na idea zako zenye umetoa nje. Unakuja kwa community, uko na research question of course, lakini unapata answers kutoka kwa community. So, hiyo ina call for a lot of patience na building relationships. Kwa sababu usipo build relationships na kudevelop your trust na community members, hauwezi pata kitu. So ilituchukua time about tumefanya kwa mwaka mzima, tumekuwa tukikuja coach, lakini pia of course kulikuwa na challenges zingine kama COVID venye likam, tukakuwa na lockdown, timeline yetu ikasonga, but nevertheless tulimanage kuendelea na study.
I participated in the study of Korogocho ALIV, and the topic was intimate partner violence and how it relates to HIV infections, if it increases the rate of infections ama it reduces.
The study ilifanywa huku Getadhuru kwa sababu Getadhuru iko na tribes mingi sana na iko na many youth, na mostly ilichagula Getadhuru cause ina hiyo IPV na HIV iko mostly engaged kwa hii area. That's why Getadhuru ilichaguliwa.
Community participatory research is the most important research. The reason is why I'm saying it, I'm really emphasizing that it's very important because it's you involve the community members, you are able to capture their issues, you are able to get the clarification, and when someone shared it, rather than the normal research whereby researchers come and collect data and go, but this one was very engaging. It was a very, very important because we could get all what we want. Like for example, when you are doing FGDs is the focus group discussion, whereby we involve community members coming to share their issues, we capture their issues, and involving also other parties as well. So community participatory research is very important, and I think that is the best mode of carrying out a research study. In any other research, I think this should be put in place.
The study took about 1 year. It involved researching partners, co-researchers, and the researcher herself, and a translator. Okay, what I liked most was it involved the community, me being part of the community, and that way it made our work easier in one, identifying the problems, and two, trying to come up with the solutions to the problems. And like you don't get a hard time trying to collect the data in the first place.
Nimeenjoy cause napatana na watu wengi sijawahi wajua, na counsel watu wengi kama youth cause unapata iko mshindani ya Getadhuru hiyo yenye sasa tulisomea ya Getadhuru, unapata the youth ndio wanajiengage into many stuffs such as ndio wanaleta HIV irise sana na IPV, unaona. So ni kujuana na the youth, ile kupatana nao kuongelesha lile council kama kibeshte is kind of enjoyable.
This is an example of we have maybe let me use the example of women, because in our findings you realize that women are the people who actually were facing the IPV more compared to men. There is HIV prevalence also, because for example a woman could come and could meet a man and because this woman doesn't have money and she want to feed her kids, for example, and if you borrow money from a man, always expect returns, right? And exchange is not basically you return back the money, but through the sexual process. So in sex, and you know, a woman who is very needy, even negotiating for sex practice at times is not that easy. I know you understand. It's not easy to negotiate for sex practice, and especially when you want something to help you. And that could bring us that there's HIV prevalence high in that particular area.
Okay, I gained data analysis skills. Like I had participated in research before as a researcher, but we just used to collect data and that was all. So for this one, we collected the data and analyzed it and disseminated it. So I've gained skills on analyzing data and dissemination.
The community really benefited from the participating in this particular research because first, the community also learned from one another because we engage different kind of population and different kind of community members. So they were learning from one another, which was very important to them because some could share challenges and the way he has overcome or she has overcome. The other one has similar changes but she has not yet overcome, but she could get maybe views from those who have overcome that particular changes. So there was that clarification, and so solution could also come up there and some could not come up. So at least they could benefit from that learning from their that particular group, so they could learn from one another. And also something else, like this information also we were sharing to people who can also help us. For example, maybe healthcare providers, people in authority who make laws and order, that is maybe the police, the chief, the village elder, the chief and all that. So they could also at least get a way of handling that particular issues.
Being part of the co-researchers, we saw it was a big problem in Korogocho, not just Gitaturu. So we plan on advocating for zero IPV and zero HIV infections. We want to reduce it as much as possible by advocating for other ways of resolving issues instead of IPV. You don't have to resort to IPV, and IPV doesn't have to be physical violence. It can be sexual, it can be financial, it can be psychological. Like, it doesn't have to lead there. So we are taking plans underway to do that via plays and pictures that shows the acts of IPV and different themes that lead to that. So that is the plan. I think if everyone knew sensitization, like if everyone got to know, because we disseminated the information to the stakeholders mainly, but if every person in the community knew what were the risks, I think they will be more careful and they'll be more petulant to do so. Or if everyone knew by me not doing my job or me asking this of this person, I'm also putting myself in risk and I'm putting the other person in risk. If everyone knew sensitization, also sensitization and actual services, providing the services that are there the right way and not asking for extra favors so that you may provide what you're being paid to do so.
We are planning if possibly you can have a CBO which focuses on IPV, because we've never had such even in Kenya. A CBO that gives services on IPV and HIV. We only have for GBV and others that are related. So my plans is maybe if we have a kind of CBO, this will help us ensure that the community get solutions to the challenges they are facing. That is on IPV, that is IPV and HIV, and remember also poverty is in it, because poverty also brings all these challenges across. So that was also our plan. Another plan is we have make a discussion with the researcher herself if she can organize for us maybe more trainings, and that is also the plans that are there, more training so that we can get more knowledge and able to come up with solutions to the problems. Remember, this was just a short term, it was 1 year, and there are some things that we did not tackle, which maybe if we'll have trainings and more sensitization and awareness, that will be better.
PV sana sana Getadhuru kuna hapa ALIV. ALIV ndio unapatanga like ukidhulumiwa unakuja hapo na staki like wanafuatilia, kama example like umerepiwa, hizo stuff za like emotionally siko sawa, anything doing with hiyo story unakuja hapa kwa ALIV. Ama kama as in physically umeumia ama whatever, unaweza kuja hapa kwa chief's camp na unasaidika, ama police.